All right. Hi. Good afternoon to all of you over in the UK. My name is Jim. I am an assistant professor at School of Pharmacy in the University of Nottingham, Malaysia campus. I think just now James mentioned that you need to have patience in teaching. So I do have patience in teaching, and I do have a passion to use technology in helping students to learn. Okay, so a little bit of my own background. So I used to work as a pharmacist in the UK, and I'm also a registered pharmacist in the Malaysia. But I'm teaching pharmacy practice at University of Nottingham in Malaysia. So that why I'm interested in using technology. It's because we are offering MPharm course outside of UK. So the student that graduated from this course will be able to register as a pharmacist and practice in the UK. So imagine how difficult to teach pharmacy practice using the UK healthcare system in Malaysia, where most of them are Malaysian-born students that have never, most of them have never been to UK before, and we do have some international students as well, and some of them from Korea. Um, and again, their healthcare system setup it's very different from the UK. So I was thinking, okay, what can I uh, make them more familiarize themselves with the UK pharmacy setting or the healthcare system in the UK. Um, so just to give you a little bit of image of how a pharmacy look like in Malaysia. So the one on the left, it's a pharmacy, start with spell with an F. So that's a typical, or not typical, but most of the independent pharmacy would look like in Malaysia. So it's very different. There are lots of advertisement around even the signboard. So I mean, on the right would be something that you are familiar with, the UK version of a pharmacy, and obviously our students are more familiar with the Malaysian version, and the UK version it's quite alien to them, and they can't really imagine how it looks like inside. So what I wanted to do is I'm trying to think what can I do to bring the Malaysian student to UK and visit the pharmacy in the UK. So I think this is important to just to set the scene for our year one student. So our MPharm course, we only offer MPharm year one and year two in the Malaysia campus, and then year three, year four they'll be going to the UK. So in the year one, when they enter into the pharmacy course in Malaysia, I think this is where it's important to at least let them know how a community pharmacy look like in the UK. The other thing would be things like arrangement of the medication, things that you think, okay. So if you are staying in the UK, you would think that it's normal, it's just something that doesn't make, it doesn't, it's not difficult to imagine, but to a lot of Malaysian students, it is quite difficult for them to imagine that how Boots pharmacy look like, where they can get different medication. Oh, there is a medication that you can buy over the counter. There are medication that's prescription only, that you need a prescription. So all that little things, it's very different. So what I wanted to do is, so I was thinking, oh, well, since we have technology, so yeah, as James didn't James focused on pedagogy knowledge, so I'm more towards using technology knowledge and see how we can teach with using technology. So virtual reality has been around. I'm not sure if you have seen it. I saw them back in John Lewis. They sell that in quite a few places in the UK when I was last visited the UK before the pandemic. So virtual reality, so it's a little headset. It's something new. A lot of people using it. Well, it started with gaming, but we are using it in teaching as well. So I'm thinking of using this virtual reality to bring the whole UK community pharmacy in Malaysia virtually. So how it work is, so I've started with this pilot project before the pandemic. So this is like way before the pandemic in 2018. So we got approval from Boots Pharmacy. So we were arranging to take picture. So for my project, we are using the 360 camera. So I'm using a GoPro camera to take picture of the whole pharmacy. So inside of the pharmacy, most of the corner, and then we will process this picture, and then we'll develop it into an Android package, so an APK. So that will then insert into the headset, so that student can sort of move around the pharmacy. Okay. What else we did was we did put a little bit of a label. So we are trialing. So this is still a very pilot project. So we did put labeling of how medicines are arranged in the UK. So where you can get a general sales list of medications, where are the pharmacy medication store, and where are the prescription medication store. Okay, so all that can be done. So we engage computer science students to help us to do that, and then we upload into the VR headset. So what you see here, the top corner there, so this is a GoPro 360 camera. So there are quite a few 360 cameras around. This one here is called Fusion. So there is a newer model called I think it's called GoPro Max. There are different companies are making different ones. So these are 360 camera. This headset here is called the VR headset. So we are using the Oculus Quest. The headset it has evolved since many years ago. So I think it started with a lot of wires. So if you've seen it in video or movie, it has a lot of wires. So now it's basically wireless. Yeah, so this is a picture. This is a 360 image of the Boots pharmacy that we get engaged with. So if we are going to just put it displayed on screen, it looks like this. So it doesn't look anything 360. Yeah, so we need to go further. We need to process it and then upload into the VR the headset. So I will show you how it looked like through the VR headset. So it's another picture of the consultation room. So again, this is like more of a 2D format. Okay, I hope the video is able to. I'm able to play the video. So okay. So this is how, when you're wearing the VR headset, you can freely move around in the pharmacy, the virtual pharmacy. So there are jumping point to point. So then you can just basically look up, down. So the ceiling, the corner, so every corner they can have a look. So they can look at the medications that display on the shelf. So this is going behind the scene now. So for those that are not pharmacists, so this is where the area that you are not able to, it's not for unauthorized personnel. So this is the dispensary with the computers, the prescription only medication behind, and this little corner inside is where there are more confidential information are stored. So this corner, it's behind the counter. So these are the over-the-counter sale of medication. So where all the cough syrup, or not cough syrup, some of the the pharmacy only medication store. So I think we are going to go to the general sale, GSL. So that's corner there. So all these medication are the one that you can just pick and buy, from the shelf and buy it without seeing a pharmacist. Yeah, so that's what a VR world look like through the headset. So the student can spend, usually 10-15 minutes with the headset looking around. It's a small pharmacy, so I'm sure that you've seen a bigger Boots pharmacy. This is one of the smaller one. So just imagine that a student can put on the VR headset and then just look around, look at the medications on display, although they can't pick on it. Okay, so that's the idea to bring the UK community pharmacy to Malaysia. Okay, so I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking about the challenges and what's in the future. The first thing is a VR headset. So for those who are interested to use this technology, a few things you need to be aware of. First is the cost. Although it's getting cheaper now, but if you are buying a few set, it will still cost you quite a lot. And also the second point is the model. So different version, different model, different company, different brand, even with Oculus. So Oculus is owned by Facebook now. Even that, they have a few different versions. So the latest one is Oculus Quest 2. So the issue is that so I also have the one the white this white one here is called Oculus Go. The program that developed for Oculus Go are not able to be used in Oculus Quest. So it's slightly different, and things that you develop for Oculus Quest can be used for the older model of Oculus headset. So that's something that you need to be aware of. And then also depends on the support that you get from the university. So from our Malaysian side here, we have little support. So it's basically the whole things. We have a small team of people setting it up. So we have a mixed reality hub that's set up now to help academics who are interested to use VR, virtual reality or augmented reality in teaching. So we do have a little support group now, but it is something that you do need to be aware of. So second point, COVID. Okay, interestingly, because this project was started in 2018 before the pandemic, and then we managed to make everything in 2019. And before we want to test it out, we have the lockdown. So definitely, we are not able to share this. Well, we are not. There's no student on campus. And especially if you are going to share the headset between students, so you need to sanitize it. So it's a little bit difficult. The last part, the last point here, I put confidentiality because my idea is to bring a student to visit a real pharmacy, virtually. So there are part that the pharmacy, the owner are not happy to share. So for example, just now there is a corner that they said, well, there's a lot of confidential information inside that corner. So I'm not allowed to take picture. So obviously compared to a real physical placement, definitely it's not going to be as good. However, I still think that it is a good idea to have this virtual reality developed for our students, because as I said, the setup, the healthcare system, it's very different between the countries. And if we are offering M-Pharm course and the student are able to practice in the UK, I think it's important for them to be exposed to the UK pharmacy or the setup as early as possible. Okay, so what is next is obviously I want to improve the quality of the images that we can use in the VR headset, more interactive and function. So what you see there just now, it's basically you only can see, what's on display. You are not able to have any function, or you can't pick up any medication. But we can build that in so that you can, pick up a medication to have a look. The third one that I wanted to do is a hospital, so make a virtual reality for a hospital setup, and this is going to be more challenging because of the confidentiality. So just imagine to clear up the whole hospital just to do the filming. So it's a little bit challenging, and therefore, last point, thinking of fully animate the pharmacy. Okay, so instead of taking picture of a real pharmacy, we can actually animate it or digitalize the whole pharmacy or the hospital. So, last slide. Okay, second last slide. This it's what we did within our pharmacy school in Malaysia here. So we actually developed a organ buff laboratory, fully animated. Okay, so I actually got a grant to start on to fully animate a pharmacy as well. So we are just recruiting computer science students to help with building up that virtual reality. So this is a virtual reality organ buff. So basically, student can use the virtual headset and go into this lab and basically test it out, play with the equipment, run experiments as well. So it's interesting. So the next will be my pharmacy. So the last slide, so just to acknowledge some acknowledgements. So this project was done by our TNL, so Teaching and Learning, and with the STEM funding as well. And there are one work with other group of people. So there are people from School of Engineering, School of Computer Science, and also pharmacy school in the UK. So it's sort of like many people to make this project, to finalize this project and make it into the APK file and upload to the VR headset. Okay, I think that is all